Welcome to Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest-running weekly motoring news and features TV and online magazine. I'm Ray Louis Gamboa.
And I'm Suzy Gamboa, and here are this week's features to watch out for. On Motoring Forum, we shall have Colonel Bong Nebrija, MMDA EDSA Traffic Manager, to give us insights into the status of the thoroughfare. Our road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on the first to stop, first to go rule. This week's Buying Chuper shall be on the illegal use of mobile phones while driving. The public service segment shall have the reaction of the DPWH on the problem of potholes along EDSA. Showcase this week shall have the subcompact sedan from Volkswagen, the Santana 1.4-liter MPI MT. While for race weekend, we'll have the highlights of the Philippine Autocross Championship Series Round 4 held at the Clark Global City.
All of these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management are in this week's edition of Motoring Today. Join us.
These are the Fuel Masters. Every time they're on the court, it's high performance. Every time I'm on the road, I can also expect high performance from Phoenix Fuels. We made it! The next generation Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology, delivers enhanced power and acceleration to make every trip come alive.
Suzuki all-new Ertiga.
Life is beating fast. Find what you're waiting for.
Seven-seater in style. All-new Ertiga debut.
Here are the latest news in transportation and traffic management. The DOTR and the LRTA, together with the Light Rail Manila Corporation, have kicked off the full-blast construction of the LRT1 Cavite Extension Project, which will connect the province of Cavite to Metro Manila.
The project is under the Duterte government's Build, Build, Build program that will extend the current lineup to 11.7 kilometers to Nyog in Bacoor, Cavite.
Today we mark the start of the Cavite extension, which, as we said, will allow us to travel from Baclaran to Sucat in 15 minutes, and then Baclaran to Las Piñas in 20 minutes, and finally from Baclaran to Bacoor in 30 minutes.
8 brand new stations are expected to be completed, which will cross Parañaque and Las Piñas, leading to Bacoor. It also has the provisions for the construction of 2 additional passenger stations in the future.
Nagantay tayo ng 2 dekada at 3 administrasyon. Baka tatanungin nyo, nag-groundbreak kayo nung 2 years ago. Bakit ngayon lang full construction work? Kasi merong ginawa dyan para matuloy-tuloy na walang problema yung construction. Ano yun? Yung 3 bahagi. Yung sinabi ko kanina, una yung right of way. Hindi naman tayo basta-basta magtatayo na lang na magde-demolish ng mga pamilya o mga istruktura doon. Noon, 0% nung nagumpisa kami noong 2016. Ngayon, lumalagpas tayo ng 90%. Tuloy-tuloy na ho yan. Yung pangalawa, nakikita nyo yung model. Nandito na ho, na-order na-decide na kung anong bagon ang gagamitin. Na-bidding ho yan. It took a little bit of time. But ngayon, tapos na, may delivery na. May schedule yan. Nandiyan ho yung bagon, makikita ninyo. Pangatlo, yung depot, yung expansion ng depot sa Baclaran Depot. Kinakailangan kong gawin yan para sa ganun, ma-accommodate yung expansion at yung extension. Saan mo ilalagay yung mga kailangan mong parte, equipment at even coaches kung hindi matatapos yan? At pang-apat, yung relocation ho ng utilities.
According to the DOTR, once the project is completed, travel time from Cavite to Baclaran will be reduced to 25 minutes from 1 hour and 10 minutes. The department added that it will also accommodate up to 800,000 passengers daily.
The Cavite Extension Project will extend LRT-1 by 11.7 kilometers, increasing its total route length from the current 18.1 kilometers to 30 kilometers, and will increase the number of stations from the current 20 up to 28. It's expected to increase LRT-1's daily ridership from 500,000 to 800,000 passengers per day.
LRT1 has also acquired new 120 light rail vehicles or wagons, which will benefit train commuters and passengers.
The government called to the public for patience and understanding for the inconveniences the construction activities may temporarily cause, and said that they are targeting the partial operability of the first 5 stations of the extension line in 2 years or by 2021. Meanwhile, the MMDA has made an announcement that it will temporarily suspend the dry run of the provincial bus ban along EDSA due to the pending meeting among the agency, the DOTR, and the LTFRB.
The provincial bus ban is a result of MMC Regulation Number 19002, revoking and/or canceling the business permits of all provincial bus terminals along EDSA approved by the Metro Manila mayors last March. According to MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia, the dry run of the provincial bus ban along EDSA will resume once the guidelines and implementing rules have been ironed out by the 3 agencies involved. The official further added that they do not intend for the policy to be politicized at this time when politics is too dominant due to the coming elections.
The MMDA has also made clarifications that the strict enforcement of the no loading and unloading policy along EDSA for provincial buses will remain in effect. Continuing, the Sumitomo Corporation, together with its technical partners, has officially taken over the rehabilitation and maintenance works for MRT3 to restore the railway system back to its original design condition, following the recent handover from the MRT3 Maintenance Transition Team, or the MTT.
Sumitomo Corporation, with its technical partner Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, or the MHI, and MHI's fully owned Philippine subsidiary, TESP, or the TES Philippines, is officially the new rehabilitation and maintenance service provider for the MRT3.
Today marks a most important milestone in our comprehensive and long-term strategy to fix MRT3 for the hundreds of thousands of commuters that use it on a daily basis.
DOTR Secretary Arthur Togade congratulated the official turnover to Sumitomo MHI TESP, stating that the strong partnership between the Philippines and Japan will result in much improved operations and services for the passengers of MRT3.
Today is proof of the Japanese and the Philippine government's strong commitment to the fast and sure principle in delivering the much needed, long overdue, and the boldest and most ambitious projects that this country has seen, and that will dramatically contribute to making every Filipino's life more comfortable.
Under the MRT3 Rehabilitation Project, Sumitomo MHI TESP will undertake the overhaul of all of MRT3's 72 light rail vehicles, replace all mainline tracks, rehabilitate power and overhead catenary systems, upgrading signaling, communications, and CCTV systems, and fix all of MRT3's escalators and elevators, among other system repairs and improvements.
Our experience in the last year and a half in MRT3 gives me confidence that we have experienced, capable, committed, and service-oriented people who will take on the next bigger responsibility of operating and maintaining the hundreds, in fact thousands, of additional railway lines that we are currently building for the Filipino people.
As the original designer, builder, and maintenance provider of the MRT3 for 12 years, the DOTR is positive that the Sumitomo MHI TESP will use this expertise in railway engineering, construction, and maintenance, and is best fit for the challenging task of restoring MRT3 to its design condition.
The DOTR said that the MRT3 rehabilitation project will last for 43 months, with rehabilitation work slated for completion within the first 26 months. Once completed and as a result of the rehabilitation, it is expected to increase the number of operating trains during peak hours from 15 to 20, double operating speed from 30 to 60 kilometers per hour, and slash by half the time between trains from 7 to 10 minutes to just 3.5 minutes. And finally, ride-hailing app Angkas recently staged Angkas Safety Fiesta, a series of events that aims to promote motorcycle road safety among Filipino riders.
Angkas Safety Fiesta was held at Vertis North, Quezon City, wherein Angkas trainers presided a safety seminar, an earthquake response briefing, and preventive maintenance discussions. The event also aims to call for the resumption of the said ride-hailing app and to push for motorcycle riders' rights. According to Angkas Head of Regulation and Public Affairs, George Royeca, Angkas has been an advocate of road safety consciousness among motorcycle riders in the country, and the staging of Angkas Safety Fiesta reflects that advocacy. Representative Winston Castelo, who's been known as a huge supporter of the advocacy, was present in the event. He was joined by senatoriables, namely Grace Poe, Bam Aquino, Chel Jokno, Bato de la Rosa, and JV Ejercito, who also showed their support to the cause.
During the Angkas Safety Fiesta, the senatoriables have agreed that the government should begin on the implementation of motorcycle taxi legalization and regulation. Apart from that, they also called for the resumption of Angkas's operations. Those are the latest news in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. Here's Ray Louie.
Thanks, Susie. Earlier this year, the MMDA has appointed a new EDSA traffic manager who has been very well known for his works on the agency's clearing operations. We're talking about Colonel Bong Nebriha, and in this week's Motoring Forum, we get insights straightforward from him regarding EDSA's status and the MMDA's plan to improve and decongest traffic in a thoroughfare. We sat down with the EDSA chief and began by discussing new rules and regulations in EDSA as well as strict enforcement of existing rules, particularly the yellow lane.
We are trying this template that we are being strict on the yellow lane. The yellow lane, I did not invent that. So it has been there before I assumed as EDSA chief. These yellow lanes, this has been taken for granted for the longest period of time. Since I assumed, that's one thing that I wanted to check, correct, and implement, enforce strictly. So that's what we're doing right now. We're gaining grounds. We're gaining momentum on this. It's nice to see that, both private and public motorists are slowly following these regulations. They're trying to test it themselves if it will work. But so far, it's gaining ground for us. As far as enforcement is concerned, it was not as heavy as before. So it's just a matter of time that even without enforcers, people will follow.
Nebriha stressed that the no-contact apprehensions on yellow lane violations are on an average of 2,000 per day.
We apprehend an average of 2,000 per day. Non-contact pa lang yan. So if we put all together the apprehensions on the ground, it could be somewhere 1,200 to 1,500.
In other news, not much has been heard on the motorcycle lane violations, so we asked Nebriha regarding the topic, and this is what he has to say.
First, it's really hard to apprehend motorcycles going out of motorcycle lanes. First, it's in the middle of the road. It's really hard to flag them down in the middle of the road for violations of motorcycle lane. And second, there are too many motorcycles on EDSA. So we will give Many are complaining if we apprehend them because of motorcycle lane violation. Because if we apprehend them, they will say, why me? Why just me? Why did you not apprehend all the people behind me? It's always been like that. It's always been a challenge to apprehend them on motorcycle lanes. Well, again, the motorcycle lane was there not really to catch them all, but this is for their own safety. I mean, you're taking risks if you're not staying there. That's what we mean.
The MMDA official also made the clarification that lane segregations on EDSA are meant for everyone's safety. Talking about new policies, one of them is the controversial driver-only ban. The EDSA chief said that it has been ditched by the MMDA because the Senate told them to do so through a resolution. Provincial bus ban, however, is still a go.
This transition will move the provincial bus terminals out of EDSA. Not only on EDSA, but I think the whole Metro Manila. It's not only on EDSA. So then again, this is something that we're still working out. Of course, this doesn't only involve MMDA. This will involve other agencies.
Nebrija also addressed the big issue on discipline amongst motorists.
Discipline, that's really the big problem right now. I mean, not only for public utility vehicle drivers, but also for private motor vehicle drivers. It's something that we haven't checked for the longest period of time. I mean, checked seriously. If ever there was a check before, maybe it did not last for long, right? So now the consistency, the sustainability of all this enforcement that we're trying to come up with just to impose discipline on EDSA is not really unprecedented, but something that we know that will work. So give us a chance.
When asked as to how he will assess the status of EDSA right now, Nebrija said that he doesn't want to make a personal assessment on it but sends a very meaningful and powerful message for all its users.
EDSA is EDSA, right? We cannot expand it anymore. It is like that. We cannot do any engineering intervention to expand it, so we will bear with it. But we can do our part by disciplining ourselves while driving on EDSA. So let's be mindful of other drivers. Let's give road courtesy to one another. I'm telling you, once we all help each other, we can achieve something. Maybe it will be for the benefit of all of us when we keep the traffic flowing. So right now, we're doing our best. That's what I can say. I do not want to make a personal assessment that we did something miraculous on EDSA. No, nothing. This is, if ever we did something right, or if ever you notice that it's moving, it's not because of me, but because of the cooperation and help of all the motorists that are flying it.
Colonel Bong Nebrija, EDSA Traffic Manager, with insights into the status of EDSA. Our guest this week on Motoring Today's Motoring Forum, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
The things that make my day. My mini-me. My kind of jam. My passion. My blend of coffee. My inspiration. That's all good with the all-new Vios. My Vios, my drive.
are back here with us on Motoring Today, and we now have this week's valuable motoring tips, starting off with some road safety reminders from Toyota. Kung marami kayong sasakyan na nakahinto sa intersection, keep in mind that the first to stop is the first to go. This way, maiiwasan ang banggaan at iba pang aksidente. More motoring tips for you here on Motoring Today. Proper driver's demeanor while behind the wheel from Mitsubishi.
Bayong chopper lang kaibigan, ako si Marlon, isang kapwa nyo chopper. Habang nagmamaneho, kailangan buo ang atensyon mo at hindi gulo-gulo.
Ang cellphone ay isa ng malaking bahagi sa buhay ng tao. Halos lahat ay meron at gumagamit nito. Pero sana kapag tayo ay nagmamaneho, pigilin muna natin ang paggamit ng cellphone. Paalala lang, sa pagmamaneho, kailangan ng iba yung konsentrasyon. Kapag ikaw ay nagtetelepono, ang isip mo ay wala sa iyong pagmamaneho. At ito ang maaaring maging rason para magkaroon ng aksidente.
Kung ayaw mong mamultahan o maaksidente, huwag kang gumamit ng cellphone habang nagmamaneho. Si Marlon Gudmalin, payong chopper lang kaibigan mula sa isang kapwa nyo chopper.
Continuing, we now welcome you to Motoring Today's World of Motorsports. We start with the latest news and developments. The second season of the homegrown one-make single-seater racing series was formally launched last May 8 at the Manila Polo Club. At the launch, Formula V1 Challenge organizers, Swanson Racing, said that this year's challenge hopes to surpass last year's successful debut season with a bigger grid and more exciting and competitive racing.
For the second season, we're concentrating on creating more of a challenge for the drivers. So there's going to be more cars in the grid. We'll have anywhere between 18 to 20 cars this year. We have 2 fly-in drivers from Japan, so it creates a nice sort of balance between local and foreign drivers.
Like last year, drivers will use identical semi-monocoque Formula V1 cars powered by 1.5-liter Toyota 1NZ engines at every round, which begins on the weekend of May 18 to 19 at the Batangas Racing Circuit.
Interesting thing about the car is the cars are actually built here and in Japan. So we have our Japanese partners, 70% of the car is made in Japan, 30% of the car is actually made in the Philippines, and we assembled it here. So, woohoo! The interesting thing about this year is we've technically opened up the series a bit, so there's things now that the drivers can do with the car in terms of playing with the suspension, which makes the car more interesting to drive. Although the engine, which is a Toyota 1NZ engine, the same that you see in a Toyota Vios, everybody runs the same engine, everybody has the same chassis. So again, it'll be really more up to how the drivers will do this year.
There will still be 2 classes in competition, Pro and AM. We caught up with last year's AM class champion, Juicy Hoyka, now joining the grid under the Pro class.
That's quite an exciting transition. I mean, if you looked at the level of drivers in Pro Class last year, we had former F3 drivers and very experienced open-wheel racers, so the level was competitive. So it's definitely causing me to kind of level up my game a little bit to try and run with those guys. But I've had a couple of test sessions now and managed to improve on my times from last year, and I think it's going in the right direction as a team.
Meanwhile, Formula V1 newcomer Jerry Choi brings his karting experience to one-seater race car.
Feeling like big cat for me. The difference is, we have the transmission, and the clutch. So I need to learn how to heel and toe and how to make fast, change the transmission. Yeah, it's really fun. I think the racing line, is my advantage. Learning from karting because those drivers very professional. So I just like a new kid on the grip. So I feel exciting.
It is also important to note that the entry of a young, up-and-coming driver through the Phoenix Young Drivers Program.
We're going to be taking a young, up-and-coming driver, somebody that is very, very good representing their grassroots motorsport, and we're going to take that driver and make them the next up-and-coming Gabby De La Merced or Marlon Stockinger, and hopefully take them all the way to international racing.
With the Tuazon Racing, we are happy to actually launch the Young Drivers Program because we want to empower this next generation race enthusiasts and be part of his or her journey to become the next professional Formula V1 racer.
Rafi Rabe was then announced to be the winner of the said program. The first race of the 2019 season of the Formula V1 Challenge will be on May 18 to 19 at the Batangas Racing Circuit.
I'd love to invite all of the viewers of Motoring Today, come on down, check out the season opener of the Formula V1 Challenge. It'll be at the Batangas Racing Circuit, May 18 and 19. See you guys there. Thank you.
More on the world of motorsports here on Motoring Today as we now give you Race Weekend. This early in the season, the 2019 Philippine Autocross Championship Series is shaping up to be another Anton Rivera rivalry. The father and son Antons on one side, Estefano Rivera on the other. And both sides seem to find competition healthy as Race Weekend found out on the sidelines of the fourth round of the series held at Clark Global City. Our conversations with the rivals as well as with one of the contenders in the distaff side of competition are up next on Race Weekend. We are here once again in Clark Global City in Clark, Pampanga for the fourth round of the 2019 Philippine Autocross Championship Series as the competition heats up. Just the day before this leg of the Autocross Championship, a slalom event was being held on the same Clark thoroughfare. And like the day before, the sounds of engines revving and tires squealing filled the air on this corner of the Clark Global City. Over the course of the day, entries of cars and drivers took to the course marked out by pylons and barriers. And like the day before the verdict, the course was faster but tighter than the usual tracks they've been competing on. Those who participated in slaloms the day before enjoyed the advantage of having some kind of practice and a feel for the track surface, despite the tight track.
Kahapon kasi may slalom naman tayo, so naging practice ko na rin yan. So mas okay na din kasi yesterday we have 540 turn, at least ngayon 180, and then wala rin namang ganong chicane. So okay na din, mas madali siya. Mas napag-practice na naman mula kahapon. Medyo masik nga yung racetrack natin, pero okay naman as long as nagagamit ko yung handbrake. And then, kasi usually, yung mga mahabang cars, ako kasi naka-EG so medyo maliit. Yung mga mahabang cars, gumagamit sila na reverse. So, buti na lang sa akin, nakasanayan ko sa slalom, lalo na sa slalom, na gumamit ng handbrake. So, mas okay, mas mabilis yung oras ko.
Early on, as the top guns of Autocross completed their first few runs, it became clear that it was again a fight among two Antons, Father Carlos and son Inigo, and Estefano Rivera for the fastest time of the day. Carlos had early advantage, despite Estefano getting the benefit of having competed in slaloms on the same thoroughfare, at least on one side of it, the day before.
Well, as you said, I raced slalom yesterday. Actually, the same surface we're using, but we were only using one side yesterday. But honestly, it's a really different track. Yesterday it was really tight and really, it wasn't really fast speed, but this one's the complete opposite where we're reaching third gear and really doing late braking. So it's a lot different, but yeah, you're right, we studied the track. Actually, we used some data from yesterday so to set up our car, but it's a new race today. It's good so far. We're second overall, just touching distance of Carlos, but it's a long day because there are lights here actually, and the tracks get faster when it gets cold and it's already dark. So hopefully we can beat the time, and we're right there. So I'm pretty happy actually. So hopefully we can get the first place.
The Antons, like most everyone who were not at the venue competing a day before, also found the track fast, tight, and tricky.
Actually, it is. It's very fast, and we get up to very high speeds. But it's also one of the tightest ones that we've joined. So it's so hard to maneuver the 180s. And you have sidewalks on both sides. So
very
it's
scary.
scary, yeah.
So first of all, it was like my first runs. It was super tricky. Of course, yeah, it's really different compared to our previous autocross. It was usually wider while shorter. Now this is fast and super tight. So I just had to do a lot of adjusting. I was kind of far off my dad and Estefano, but I'm trying to get there already. I'm starting to push more.
Both the Antons and Estefano enjoyed the heated competition, all respecting the other's skills and believing that the competition is pushing them all to get better and to go faster.
Of course, you want to win, but of course, you don't want to win like in a way that, where your competitors are not racing or it's an easy field. So it's really good competition. We make each other better. We actually push ourselves. Like at times throughout they've been going down. It's been a switch of first place for me and Carlos. So it's really good actually, and I expect more through the whole season. So yeah, it's really good.
Stefanos, he's really good, and he's got his brother's genes, and he's a very good driver in VOs, even in V1. He's going to be driving V1, so and I think he's leading the slalom championship. So he's a very formidable opponent, which we enjoy also because it really pushes Inigo and me, but I'm old already, but it's great that he's there to make Inigo a better driver, a faster driver, and we keep learning from him, so it's good.
So like how I feel is like I'm competing with Milo again back when I was in slalom, and of course last year in autocross, like the same family but still the same talent and speed they've got. So of course, so I just always try to learn as much as I can because I know this helps me also push. I'm still young, I still have a lot to learn, so I'm really thankful that we have competitors like the Riveras because it really pushes us. It makes me learn a lot.
At the end of the fourth leg, it was the Antons who finished 1 and 2 in the overall timesheets, Dad doing better than the son, and Estefano ending up in third. Over the first 4 legs, Carlos has come out on top twice. Inigo once while Mario Rivera topped the 1 PAX leg that he entered in. That ends our coverage of the 4th round of the 2019 Philippine Autocross Championship Series here in Clark Global City in Clark, Pampanga. See you next week. It certainly is a reflection on the character of local motorsports heroes, the veterans and up-and-coming stars alike, that competition is both heated and wholesome at the same time. We certainly hope to see this continue and remain the norm in all our motorsports disciplines. That's this week's World of Motorsports. Motoring Today continues right after this break.
These are the Fuel Masters. Every time they're on the court, it's high performance. Every time I'm on the road, I can also expect high performance from Phoenix Fuels. We made it! The next generation Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology, delivers enhanced power and acceleration to make every trip come alive.
The things that make my day. My mini-me, my kind of jam, my passion, my blend of coffee, my inspiration. That's all good with the all-new Vios. My Vios, my drive.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. The auto industry now takes center stage.
The multi-brand Summer Test Drive Festival powered by Phoenix Fuels with Pulse Technology has yet again concluded a successful staging this year. During the 4-day event, a total of 2,562 visitors walked in at the SM Mall of Asia grounds to check out the latest products and innovations from 11 of the country's top car companies and manufacturers. The participating brands included GAC Motor, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, Mitsubishi, MG, Nissan, Ssangyong, Subaru, Suzuki, and Toyota. The 2019 Summer Test Drive Festival showcased a number of latest cars and models from these respective companies. However, the top 10 cars that visitors checked out the most were Nissan's Terra, Honda Civic RS and CR-V, Mitsubishi's Expander and Strada, Toyota's RAV4, Hyundai's Kona, MG's MG6, and Suzuki's Ertiga. Let's hear it from the test drivers.
Dinig ko siya sa radio and immediately, since free naman, so I come here and test drive all the vehicles.
Maganda naman kasi nasusubukan yung kung ano talagang kaya ng sasakyan. So, it was a nice experience.
Okay kasi kompleto siya, may ma-feel mo yung suspension, tapos may straight, pati yung brake madetest mo.
Nakaka-overwhelm na may ganito kasi nadidiscover mo yung iba't ibang klase ng car. Lalo na yung mga hindi ka familiar, like ito yung MG kasi hindi naman siya usual sa bansa natin. So, una overwhelming, saka I think it helps promote the car industry sa bansa. Ayun.
Actually, bibili akong kotse. So, iniisip ko, if bago ako bumili, dapat mag-test drive ako muna. That's why nakita ko sa Facebook. So, naging opportunity. Nandito ako.
Top executives and officials from the participating car companies and manufacturers and members of the motoring media bonded over the traditional cocktails, which was held on the first day of the Test Drive Festival. Volkswagen Philippines recently turned over 9 Santana subcompact sedans to CW Home Depot. In 2017, CW Home Depot got 4 Jetta sedans for its executives' use, and in 2018, it brought in 4 Santanas for its managers. This recent acquisition by the home construction and renovation store brings the total number of Volkswagen vehicles in its fleet to 17. According to Volkswagen, CW Home Depot's brand for its customer, which centers on convenience and practicality, is aligned with its choice of the Volkswagen Santana as the vehicle for its top sales representatives. Toyota Motor Philippines is offering its customers easy deals and promos on the Vios, Innova, Hilux, Fortuner, and more. Customers can choose to pay low with the all-in package at an affordable 15% down payment and get free first-year insurance and 3-year LTO registration, or pay light with low monthly plans at 50% down payment and 60 months to pay. Outright cash discounts are also available according to Toyota. More summer deals are also available for other models. Get as much as 100,000 pesos off savings on the Hilux, as much as 90,000 pesos on the Fortuner, and as much as 70,000 pesos on the Innova.
Our Car of the Week is next on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. This week's showcase is all about a car that made many people curious and wondering how it will compete with the other models in its segment. It's none other than the Volkswagen Santana, the car maker's newest entry to the subcompact category. Let's find out here what makes it special and if it lives up to everybody's expectations. Watch this. That was the Volkswagen Santana 1.4-liter MPI manual transmission, an offering from Volkswagen that set the subcompact segment ablaze in its own unique way. Our featured vehicle here on Showcase courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
Drive worry-free with Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program with a free 24-hour nationwide roadside assistance included with your comprehensive auto insurance. Rest assured, we'll take care of you and your car wherever you are. Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program, 100% worry-free driving.
These are the Fuel Masters. Every time they're on the court, it's high performance. Every time I'm on the road, I can also expect high performance from Phoenix Fuels. We made it! The next generation Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology, delivers enhanced power and acceleration to make every trip come alive.
The things that make my day. My mini-me. My kind of jam. My passion. My blend of coffee. My inspiration. That's all good with the all-new Vios. My Vios, my drive.
Suzuki all-new Ertiga.
Life is beating fast. Find what you're waiting for.
Seven-seater in style. All-new Ertiga debut.
On the final stretch of motoring today, we have our public service segment.
On public service this week, we shall have the reaction of the DPWH on the problem on potholes along EDSA. As presented the week before, a lot of vehicles are using the said thoroughfare, making it prone to damages and thus must be maintained by the proper agencies. We also asked some of our motorists regarding its effect to them. We then turned to the DPWH regarding this, and Secretary Mark Villar said that there's one thing that should be done first before a major rehabilitation on EDSA may be done.
Before we do a major reconstruction and rehabilitation of EDSA, we have to create the bypass first. Because if we start closing down, if we close down major stretches of EDSA, it may impact our economy.
The DPWH Secretary shared that while major rehabilitation can't be done yet, the agency is conducting road repairs and road reblockings in the metropolis major thoroughfares, EDSA included.
So what we do is we certain weekends we take advantage and we do our repair rehabilitation works.
We're all looking forward to the development of EDSA, especially now that strict implementation and enforcement of rules and regulations are at hand.
As it is now, we're already rehabilitating sections, section by section. But once we finish these bypasses, we'll be more aggressive in our rehabilitation of EDSA.
Thank you very much to the good Secretary of the DPWH, Secretary Mark Villar, for the valuable insights on this problem. We hope this has helped you all as a motorist flying on EDSA.
That's our public service segment, and may we remind you once again that if you come across any motoring issue or problem that you deem as unsafe or inimical to the general motoring public, which you would like us to highlight on this portion or to refer to the proper authorities for appropriate action, please feel free to let us know about it. Take a look at your screens for our contact details. And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Until next week here on Motoring Today. Now on its 32nd year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. On behalf of Butch Gamboa, our dad, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa.
Happy motoring!